Westers, we're almost there. It's almost time. We're days away from Rebel Moon Part 2. The Scar Giver. I'm looking forward to watching it. And I'm looking forward to making a video for you guys. We'll see what happens, shall we? But that's not what this video is about. So let's see what this video is about. This video is about an article which I found. It's a couple of days old at this point, but not a problem. Not a problem. So yeah, let's get this on and see what it says. So yes, Zack Snyder talks Rebel Moon sequel and director's cuts release date. Well, we know that Rebel Moon Part 2 is coming out on Friday. So, oh look, a lovely picture of Ed Skrein. I hope I'm saying that right. Zack Snyder and Deborah Snyder. Right. So let's take a look. So previously known for his, previously known for his other larger-than-life film productions like 300, Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice, Justice League, and Army of the Dead, Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon sci-fi universe continues onward with Part 2, The Scar Giver, premiering April 19th on Netflix. And I'm looking forward to watching it and tearing it apart. Okay, so following Part 1, A Child of Fire, which was released on the streaming giant this past December. It was shot as one movie. Come on. I mean, it's not been long enough for them to produce, edit, and everything for Part 2, right? So they were carried on filming. It was all one big movie. It has to have been. But anyway, with both films produced under Snyder's The Stone Quarry production company, well, who else would it be under? The sequel continues to follow Cora, played by Sophia Boutella. I hope I'm saying that right. It's Boutella or Boutella, an outsider with a complicated past who teams up with a group of rebel fighters from various backgrounds to take down a merciless dictatorship that has stripped them of their peace and everyday freedoms. Let me just check something. I'm going to make sure that everything's working fine. Yep. I wasn't sure if the microphone was working. Anyway, right. Let's carry on. So look, there's the trailer. We'll have a look at the ratings for the like to dislike numbers for that trailer shortly after this reading this article. All right. I sat down with Snyder, unfortunately, to discuss his vision for Part 2 within the expanding fictional universe and to uncover where his overall creative mindset resides today, following his long filmmaking legacy within the entertainment industry thus far. Zack, if these Rebel Moon films are ultimately just two parts, what was your greatest objective as a filmmaker to make sure this narrative had a little bit of a bow at the end? Bow? It's supposed to be bow. Yeah. Ignore that bit. So Zack Snyder responded, I feel like it's Cora's story. Dun, dun, dun. In the end, it's Cora's redemption, so I really feel like Sophia's character is completely, by the end of the movie, I feel like all of her kind of loose ends have been tied up. Why do they keep doing that? Why do they keep saying, I feel like my feelings matter? Beyond Cora, there's a great ensemble cast of characters here. Great. Terrible. I'm curious of the backstories and experiences we see between these two parts. Are there a couple of characters that stand out to you, with you perhaps enjoying their evolution most of all? Ooh, Zack Snyder replies, yeah, I guess the vocabulary on these guys. I mean, I'm not very good at English, but it's the way these guys talk. It's like, yeah, I guess, yeah, well, sure, maybe, what, nah, yeah, I feel. Oh, don't hurt my feelings. Uh, probably the one that you don't get as much of, and that it's poorly written as well, and that you'll see more of in the director's cuts. Director's cuts. Is Jimmy. Oh, his is very much realized in the director's cuts. But in these versions, you get a glimpse of what he's grappling with as far as his redemption story goes. And don't worry, guys, I'm sorry. I was meaning to cut my hair yesterday, but I didn't get around to it. I feel like see, it started to get. I feel. Why do they have to? I feel. I feel like of the other. Well, I feel like uh, of the other characters. Really, I think Nemesis is fun because she sort of makes a strong. She sort of makes a strong commitment towards revenge when she cuts her arms off. She cuts her arms off. Really? Oh, are they talking about this? Are they going to cut the arms off of that target thingy? Okay. Right. It's an emotional ride for her because the villagers really take a shine to her in part two. So she really has to confront the loss that she has experienced in the past with this acceptance that the villagers, sorry, I got a bit tongue tied there, villagers have for her. So that's fun. It's okay. So he asked this question as well. You have such a celebrated filmmaking career. When was the last time Zack Snyder made a good movie? I know people keep saying about 300 and that. So 300 wasn't that great. You have such a celebrated filmmaking. Every time I read, I'm gonna have to try and ignore reading. I'll try not to not to read that again because it makes me laugh. But we also have other big filmmakers today, like Christopher Nolan, just won Oscars for Oppenheimer. Yeah, including one for visual effects, I believe, and it really did not have that many visual effects. We have Denis Villeneuve with Dune and Dune Part 2. I have just recently watched Dune Part 2 since it's come out on Amazon for premiering. I'm not going to do a video on it. It's a good movie. Bit long though. Could have been shorter. Could have done being shorter. The climax was very quick. So something buzzing around. Anyway, what are your thoughts on your fellow filmmakers today, Zach, and the excitement around cinema right now? Excitement? There's no excitement. For most releases, cinemas are struggling to get bums in seats. So when it comes to excitement around cinemas right now, nah. So Zack Snyder responds with, "Yeah, yeah, it's amazing. There's just this massive output of like really beautiful and incredible movies. If they are beautiful and incredible, then people would want to see them. And just saying that I'm excited about everyone that rolls out and what Chris was able to achieve with Oppenheimer. Sorry, I've got a ring in my ear. It's just so fun. I'm excited for Civil War. Civil War's not doing too well. There's a lot of cool movies coming out. Really? We'll see. Certainly not ones that have you involved, as far as I'm concerned. Right, so then he asks this question. I have heard between the two parts of your upcoming Rebel Moon director's cuts. Why would anyone be interested in the director's cuts of Rebel Moon? Isn't it long enough already? That there will be approximately 6 hours of content. Is that accurate? Zack Snyder replies, yeah. He's always replying, yeah. Instead of saying yes. The director's cuts are 3 hours each. So what, you just add like 10, 20 minutes? So if you were to watch the director's cuts back to back, it's a 6 hour affair. But I think it's going to be fun and definitely worth it. If you've seen the theatrical ones or the normal ones, then I don't think you're going to be excited to watch the director's cuts, right? Because there's only going to be like 10 minutes, if not more. I mean, how long they are? I mean, I'll check that out in a minute. Let me just have a look. How long was Rebel Moon Part 1 and how long is Rebel Moon Part 2? Right. So Rebel Moon Part 1 is 2 hours and 13 minutes. So, okay. So it's about 47 minutes added on, because if each one's going to be 3 hours, then there's 47 minutes that didn't make it into the film originally for Part 1. Part two is 2 hours and 2 minutes. So there's 58 minutes that they cut from the film. Really? Well, that's a lot of editing. Oh, the trailer's playing. It's crazy. Right. So where was I? I think I've lost my place. Cuts for 3 hours. Blah blah blah. Definitely worth. Okay. I also spoke with Rebel Moon actors, and they are so excited to show even more of their character backstories that we get to see in Part 2 within the director's cuts. What are you most excited for, viewers, to see more and more of why these characters are the way that they are? I mean, seriously, I've seen kids that have better grammar than this. I say grammar, but it's I suppose it's punctuation. I mean, if you read that to yourselves again, like, oh, let me read it again. I also spoke with your Rebel Moon actors, and they are so excited to show even more. There should be a comma there or something. Even more of their character backstories that we get to see in Part 2. There should be a comma there as well. Within the director's cuts. Oh no, there's a full stop. So yeah, okay, but there should be something there, right? I think there should have been a comma there. So after Part 2, there should have been a comma within the director's cuts. That would have made. I think that would have been better. What are you most excited for? Uh, there should be something there as well. The sentences don't work in this article, and I've seen it with a lot of articles. The punctuation, I guess, it's off. And I'm not good at. I'm not a fucking English major, right? I never went to university to study English, so my knowledge of the English language is basic. It's common, right? So I mean, these guys do this for a living, right? They write articles for a living. They are writers. That's what they. I mean, they get their stuff published in their articles published. So these guys are supposed to know how to write and how to do their punctuation and stuff like that. So, uh, so what are you most excited for viewers to see? Comma, more and more of why these characters are the way that they are. Right. I mean, that was hard. That was hurt. That hurt me reading it. So I'm sorry if it hurt you by listening. Another picture of Donna Bay, stars Nair. I hope I'm saying that right. Mikhail Halsman, Sophia Butella, Elise Duffy, and Digimon. I'm sorry sorry I'm butchering the names. I mean, yeah. So Snyder responds. So he replies, "What's exciting is that on April 19th, you'll be able to watch part 1 and part 2 together. Whoop-de-doo! In fact, I'm thinking I might watch part 1 and then do another video of it the second time I've seen it, and then um, see if I think anything different of it, or if I think something else. Like if I still think the same way, or maybe if my mind has changed, if I think differently, we'll see. Together, if you feel like doing that, oh, together. There you go. See, there's a comma. If you feel like doing that, or doing it, maybe. I cut the movies in half. Not quite. I wrote it as a single story and then kind of broke it in half. There you go. See, I think it was shot as a single movie and then he broke it in half. That's how I feel. That's what it feels like, because it hasn't been long enough. I mean, you got to remember, even with Lord of the Rings, they were shot back to back and they didn't come out this close together. And I had a comment about that on one of my videos talking about this, actually. They were saying that, oh, Lord of the Rings was done back to back. You're not, and there's no complaining. You're not complaining about that. So, no, because it was done properly. They weren't shot non-stop and then sold as two separate movies. I mean, yes, it's part 1 and part 2, but June was part 1 and part 2, and what June? The first June came out in what, 22? So it's been 2 years. I know that 2 years is most likely because of the strike last year, but I mean, I'm just saying, you can't underestimate that immersive feeling, feeling that you would get going all the way through the two movies with the director's cuts. That's just going to be more intense because of the additional scenes and the sort of colouring in the corners of the world in the way that we're able to do. Frankly, with more scenes and more time. So basically, uh, I don't like Rebel Moon as it stands right now. So when the director's cuts come out, if I watch them, am I going to think different because there's bits in it that I never saw before? Possibly. I mean, whenever whenever I watch Alien or Aliens, I prefer, for the entire Alien franchise, even the Predator franchise, I prefer the director's cuts or the special editions because they are better movies because of it. But I can't see how Rebel Moon would be improved by releasing the director's cuts. I'm just saying. Uh, but I just like the fact that he says, a single story, and then broke it in half. He filmed it all together. Right. Do we have dates yet, Zach, for Rebel Moon director's cuts to be released on Netflix? This is going to be interesting. He says we don't have a hard date, but probably sometime in August, I would say. So we've got to wait until August to see the director's cuts, and they will be on Netflix. It's going to be interesting to see the director's cuts, to see the extra 40 to 50 minutes. Well, 40 minutes to, almost an hour of a part 2. But are they going to release both of them at the same time? Zach, what are your thoughts on a Rebel Moon future? Is there a part 3 already happening? Oh, I hope not. Snyder replies or responds, we have definitely been working on a part 3. So it's definitely been working on a part 3 when in the first article he says it was written as a 2-parter. A part 3, as far as the story goes, we definitely know where we're all headed. Yeah, to the fucking job center. We've known that for quite a while, to be honest. So yeah, it's a year again. I'm excited to make some more Rebel Moon movies. More Rebel Moon movies. Look at the wording, the way he says it. More Rebel Moon movies. He's trying to create a franchise from it. That would be fun. So then he asks, or then he says, with your ideology towards filmmaking today, going back to your early Dawn of the Dead film and things you have done before, is there anything that you wish you would have known then with the ideology and the creativity that you have today that you wish you would have brought to those earlier projects? I hope not, because his earlier stuff was pretty good, but this is the stuff he's been coming out with after the good stuff. But whether something's good or bad, it's a matter of opinion, right? So yeah, Snyder replies, I don't think so. Recently, in the last couple of years, we've watched all the movies again, and yeah, I don't think I'd change them. I think they are their own thing. At this point, they're kind of like a closed loop, and I really like that about it. Yeah, because it's closed loop because he can't fucking break out of the circle. He's surrounded by crap. We have spoken about this before, Zach, that your fans across all of your films are so loyal and so vocal on social media as they go into April 19th and watch part 2. What do you want them to know or to think about as they dive into this latest installment? I want them to think it's good. Snyder responds, I think the thing really that I'm most excited for everyone to get to experience is that after spending 3 hours with these characters, and as they go into the 4th hour, that ride is going to pay off for them. That investment in these guys is going to pay off for them because they get a really see them get to really see them. Sorry, I missed that. To see them confronted with the real obstacle and the real danger. It was an incredible pleasure putting them all through their paces at the end of this movie, and really rewarding to see them come out the other side, sort of healed a little bit. Really? Oh. So they're going to be healed from all their trauma. Nice. Okay, so your cast also was commending you when I spoke to them about the way you are as a filmmaker, but also that you are a family man. Obviously, you work with your wife, Deborah, husband-wife team, not good, as a producing partner. But you also, I heard, had your son doing some directing here and there. Is that true? God, it's one of those ones. Okay, right. My son Eli, directed the second unit on the movie. He just graduated from AFI, and he's an amazing filmmaker, much better than I ever was. That's for sure. So yeah, it was an honor to have him working on the movie because he's really quite talented. Sure. You're not going to say bad shit about your son, are you? So what does it mean to you, Zach, to be able to have your... Actually, I'm going to be looking forward to seeing some of his son's work to see what he's like. So what does it mean to you, Zach, to be able to have your home life and your creative life kind of combined in a very organic quality way? Organic quality. Yes. It's amazing. Look it. Like I said, he must have stuttered. My wife is my producer. Oh, right. Okay. We never are not working. It's a circus over at my house, and so it only made sense to have Eli working on the movie as well. It's really natural, and I'm so grateful and so lucky to have that experience. Oh, was that it? Ah, well, it abruptly stops, doesn't it? Huh. Follow me on Twitter, Jeff Conway. Follow me on Twitter, Sci-Fi Quest. Link is in the. It's not in the description. It's in my info section. Right. So yeah, there's the fact that he said that he wrote it as one big story and then broke it in half. It's like, yeah, they filmed it as one movie and then broke it in, well, less than half really, because there's extra, almost an hour extra for each bloody film. That's just ridiculous. Part 2 is nearly 2 hours. It's over 2 hours long anyway. I think it was like what, 2 hours and 3 minutes, 2 hours and 2 minutes, 2 hours and 3 minutes, wasn't it? So it'd be there's an extra 57 minutes that they cut from the second film. The first one has like 47 or 46 or something like that, wouldn't it? Or something, I can't remember. I'll look it up at some point. But yeah, okay, sure. I know one thing. I'm definitely looking forward to Rebel Moon, but not because I'm going to enjoy it, but because I'm going to like making another video for you guys. This Rebel Moon Part 1 was terrible, in my opinion. I did not like it one little bit, and I'm going to have fun talking about Part 2, plain and simple. But while I'm here, I'm going to open up YouTube and I'm going to have a look at the trailer for Rebel Moon Part 2, because I want to see what the like to dislike ratio is. Oh, 4 weeks ago was when I did. I don't want to play it. 31,000 likes to 20,000 dislikes. Not many likes for considering there's 8.4 million views. I mean, there's only 11,000 more likes than dislikes, right? So, how many of them are bots? I wonder. I mean, I know there's the Snyder fans, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see how bad this is on Friday. I will do a video. I will do a rewatch of Rebel Moon Part 1 just to refresh my memory at where we are at this point before Part 2 starts. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We shall certainly see. So yeah, let's. I think that'll do for this video. So please do hit the thumbs up, give us a like, hit the subscribe button, and please consider supporting the channel by providing a tip via the Streamlabs tipping page. It will be linked in the description below, and there is merchandise available, also linked below. So yeah, this has been great. I've had fun. Take care, guys. Stay safe, and may the Schwartz be with you always.